Hey, what's up, y'all? Today we getting into this book right here, the Book of Black Magic by Arthur Edwin Wade. Okay, this guy also writes a lot of books on tarot. Okay. So we're gonna get into the intro of this, okay? In the year of 1989, I learned expositor of the Kabbalic doctrines edited in English a work on ceremonial magic, okay, entitled, you see that, the Clava Lua of Solomonis, okay, or the Key of Solomon the King, okay. In the introduction prefix of the work, he stated that he saw no reason to doubt and therefore presumptively accepted the tradition of its authorship. Okay, Mr. Mathers, it should be added, undertook his translation more especially for the use of occult students, that it too say for those persons who believe in the efficacy of magical rotes and may desire to put them in practice. Okay, with this exception, the large body of literature which treats the theologic ceremonial in its various branches has remained inaccessible to the generality of readers. Okay, in rare printed books and rare manuscripts, in both cases, mostly in foreign languages, there is probably a considerable class outside of occult students to whom a systematic account of magic practices would be not unwelcome, perhaps mainly as a curiosity of old world credibility, okay, but also as a contribution to some value to certain sides issues of historical research. These, however, in addition for occult students who rather than attract. Okay, in the present work, both interested have been as far as possible considering. Okay. The subject is approached from the biological and critical standpoints, and all the sources of information which may years of inquiry may have known to the writer have been consulted to render it complete. At the same time, the requirements of the professed occultists have been studied in two important respects, which will not, it is believed, to be a source of offense to merely historical readers. They have been studied, firstly, but the observant of strict technical exactitude. The ceremonial produces in this book is absolutely faithful to the originals, and it removes all necessary to have recourse to the originals before determining any doubtful points of magical procedure in the past. For conveniences of reference, it is indeed superior to the originals because it has been put systematically, whereas they often exceed understanding owing to the errors of transcribes, the misreadings of printers, the loose methods of early translators, and seemingly, it must be added, the confused minds of the first compliers. Solomon himself not accepted, the immeasurable offices of vain observance with constitute ceremonial magic as it is presented in the book will therefore be found substantially intact by those who concern themselves with such observance. Okay. The second respect in which the interest of the occult students has been considered is, however, of much more importance. Robert Turner, the English translator of the magical elements written or supposed to be written by the unfortunate Peter of Abno, describes that treatise as an introduction to magical vanity in terms which was probably used in a transcendental matter to imitate that all things which concern the phenomenal world of indifferently futile. Okay, the occult purpose of the present investigations is to place within reach of those persons who are transcendently inclined the fullest evidence of the vanity of ceremonial magic as it is found in books and the fantastic nature of the distinction. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this up and read this at the same time. Between white and black magic. Okay, so you gotta understand too, we're gonna get into white magic too. Okay. They say white magic is better than black magic. It's more good. They say white magic is good magic, black magic is bad magic. To me, it's all in how you use it. Okay, so far, just like voodoo, you know what I'm saying? Voodoo can be used for good or bad. So far, also, as the literature of either it concerned, it would be unbecoming in a professed transcendentalist to deny that there is a magic which is behind magic, or that the occult sanctuaries possesses their magic and mysteries. Of these, the written ceremonial is either a debased or scandalous travesty or a trivial misconduct application. Okay, let a transcendentalist assure the occult student that he is dealing within simply with curious researches. The statement just made will explain why it is permissible to bring forth from the obscurity of centuries a various of process which would be abominable if it could be supposed that they were to be seriously understood. It will explain also why the work is entitled The Book of Black Magic when it deals as a fact in a fairly exhaustive manner with more extent rituals. Okay, they are all tainted with black magic in the same way that even idle words is tainted with the nature of sin. Interesting. So where was we at? Okay, the distinction between white and black magic is the distinction between the idol and the evil word. Okay, it would, however, be unsafe to affirm that all persons making use of the ceremonies and the rituals would fail to obtain results. Perhaps in the majority of cases, most of such experiences made in the past were intended with results of a kind to enter the path of hallucinogen, okay, hallucination, sorry about that, y'all, is likely to ensure hallucination. And in the presence of hypnotic and clairvoyant facts, it would be absurd to suppose that the same process of ancient magic which did not procure seership, or that the auto hypnotic state which much magical rituals would obviously tend to occasion in predisposed persons do not frequently induce it, okay? And not away only in the predisposed. To that extent, some of the processes are practical, and to that extent, they are dangerous. Okay, for convenience of treatment, the present work is divided into two parts. Okay, the first contains the analytical and the critical amount of chief magical rituals known to the writer. The second form of complete grimoire of black magic. It must be remembered that these are the operations which gave arms to the Inquisition of the past and justified civil tribunals in the opinion of their century from the sanguinary edicts pronounced against witch, warlock, and magicians. Okay, it is in truth a very curious and not reassuming page in the history of human aberration, nor has it been wholly a pleasing exercise which has thus sought to make it plain once and for all. Okay, y'all, I'm not no perfect reader, okay? I'm not no perfect reader, but y'all get the meaning. I put it up there, so if y'all want to read it, y'all can, okay? So we're going to get into this book. This is just the intro, okay? So this is what we're going to be getting into on this book. Okay, all of this stuff. See the Kings of Solomon, see the Black Magic, the Grand Grimoire, okay? Y'all see all that? The summary of transcendental magic, that's interesting. The importance of ceremonial magic, okay? This is a long book, man. We got a lot of information to cover. We'll cover a lot of information here, okay? Concerning the love of God, fortitude, you see all that? Concerning conscience and abstinence. See, it's not all bad, man. Abstinence is not bad. See, the rod and the staff of art, the virgin wax, the virgin earth. Okay, so this one chapter right here is gonna be interesting though. All right. So that's the gist of that. Hand of glory, vision of the spirits in the air, the mirror of Solomon. You see that? Look at this one right here. Conjuration of the demons. Whew. There's some dangerous stuff right here. Alright, so this is just the intro. We're going to be getting into this book. Just like all the other ones. All the other videos I put up. I'm just putting intros right now. And then we're going to get deep into these books. Right now I'm just dropping the intro on a few of these books. And we're going to get into them. All right, so I appreciate you viewing. I hope you have a great day. Bye.